Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Deji Kadri. With me is, Issa Jubril is not here. We're supposed to be three. With me is Kayode Adeniyi. Then Issa Jubril was unavoidably absent. He had to attend to a client issue. Maybe not issue, but attend to a client. So welcome to the Intro to Big Data Hadoop ecosystem. People always start this by saying, unless you've been living under a rock, you must have heard of the term big data, cloud, IoT, everything. So a lot of people have many conceptions or misconceptions about big data. What's this big data? Haven't we had data since the dawn of time? Even if we've been recording on stone tablets or on books or ledgers? Well, we've been having data since the dawn of time, since recorded history, definitely. But where did the big come about? First, let's look at the definition of big data. It says here that it describes massive, note the term massive volumes of structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. Because organizations such as Andela and bigger ones always generate data. Traditionally, it's always been data in Excel, relational databases. But in the last 5-10 years, a whole lot of different kinds of things have come on board. Facebook, Twitter, mobile phones. 15 years ago, we didn't have mobile phones in this volume. So that has introduced a whole lot of things. So data used to be structured, now it's semi-structured, it's unstructured. We will look at all of this. But of course, we've always known that data hides insights. Within the data of an organization, there is insight, if you can get that insight out of the data. So we used to struggle to do that before. Now data is even more. So what we want to do from big data traditionally is we need to pull and capture it. We need to store it, consolidate it. We need to process it. We need to analyze it. And we need to visualize it for insights. Once you can do that, then you get insights into your data. I will give you a quick example from this whole data thing. It's called the beer and the diaper story. A large supermarket in the US found out that placing 6-pack bottles of beer together with baby diapers led to an increase in sale of both of these items. But these are seemingly unrelated items, but it was due to data analytics that they were able to see the relationship. And what was the relationship? It turns out that a lot of young fathers, when they are coming home late from work, who have a young baby, the wife will usually call and say, can you get the baby? We've run out of diapers. Normally, these guys usually branch by the mall to get their 6-pack beer so they can watch football or something when they get back home. So the supermarkets found out through data analysis that if they place baby diapers close to the 6-pack, the guys don't forget. When he's grabbing his beer, I say, oh, I have to get the baby diapers too. So data analytics led to that unlikely relationship. There are lots of relationships that can come up, but this is the challenge that we have. Now, I said that time that we've had data since, but what makes it big? Why is the data of 15 years ago, why don't we call it big data? Because this big data is characterized by the 4 V's. Volume, this means the amount of data generated. I will give an idea of what we are talking about now. Then velocity. Velocity is the rate at which you are getting data. Well, Andela adds new staff at the rate of 18 per month. That's very low velocity. That might be high for HR purposes, but that's low velocity. But when you realize that there are situations where, for instance, how many sales is Amazon making right now as we are talking, When you are getting data at the rate of millions per second, that is high velocity. So when you have data that's humongous, it's coming at high velocity, and it is now not just text, the kind of data we are used to, username, password, age. It's now a variety of data. We are not talking of tweets. We're not talking of unstructured data like SMS. MTN probably processes millions of SMSs maybe per hour, let me say per hour or per minute. Can that SMS be analyzed? These are traditionally things we don't analyze. We are used to analyzing by age, by location. Those are the kind of things we are used to. Now we suddenly have to analyze SMS and get insight from SMS. Then veracity. Like I keep saying, we were used to structured data where everything was complete, like I'm sure. But veracity refers to incomplete or wrong data. you can see HR, people and culture walking around telling all of us to go and fill bamboo HR. That is to reduce the veracity in that. But this is now veracity on a humongous level. So big data is characterized by the 4 V's. That is the challenge. But as we go further, we'll understand. Now, how big is big data? This is just a visual to show it. That's the largest creature currently in the world, the blue whale. And that's a human diver to scale. That gives an idea of a visual way of saying big data. Okay? Now, for the techies, we understand this. Byte, kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, yottabyte, and whatever byte is there. But that gives an idea of how it keeps increasing. Now, this is a tabular form of the same thing. But now, to properly visualize and put these things in context, let us imagine a byte as 1 grain of rice. This is the way you will explain to non-techies or to your non-techie boss when you want to get approval for a big data project. That a byte is 1 grain of rice. A kilobyte will be like 1 cup. A megabyte will be like 8 bags of rice. A gigabyte will be like 3 semi-trucks. I don't know what a semi-truck is, but that's it when I Googled it. A terabyte is like 2 container ships. I see container ships every day at Apapa when I sail, so I know what that is. A petabyte will blanket Manhattan. Now, imagine Manhattan to be via Ikoyi combined. Look at that size. Now, an exabyte, even though we say we're IT, I'm sure we don't deal with exabytes and stuff. It probably just stops at the 1 terabyte hard disk we have. So now, an exabyte is blanket the West Coast states of the US. So I put that in perspective. The West Coast states of the US is 9.6 million kilometers square. West Africa is 5.1 kilometers square. So that means it will cover more than West Africa if it imagines that text in visualization. Now, a zettabyte will fill the Pacific Ocean. Now, the Pacific Ocean is the largest ocean. Put it in context, that's the cubic square surface area of the Pacific Ocean. Now, we're not saying it will cover the surface, it will fill it up. So that is 714 cubic meters. So that's now volume. Now, a yottabyte will be the volume of the Earth. And in perspective, 1 million Earths will fill the sun. Take 1 million Earths to fill the sun. So when they invent a new something after yottabyte. Now, to still put it in perspective, how much data is produced every day? 2.5 exabytes. Now, which is equivalent to 500 million songs every day, equivalent. 150 million iPhone storage, 5 million laptop storage, 250,000 Library of Congress, which is the largest library in the world, and 90 years of high definition video. Now, what led to big data? These are the things that led to it. Suddenly, we have all sorts of devices. Suddenly, fridges and microwaves are smart now. In some countries, your fridge will auto-order if you are running out of milk or running out of something. Like in South Korea, it's like part of their everyday living. They text their AC, they text their fridge to get some things ready before they get home. And that was like 4 or 5 years ago. Now, think of this. Okay, I will get there. Like devices that were not smart before are now smart. Look at everything. Wearables, TV, though a fridge is not there. Even fridges and microwaves are smart. So all these things are generating data. When you check your Google Maps to know what route to follow home, why is Google Maps accurate? Because millions of mobile phones are transmitting location information. So that's why Google can tell you there's hold up in Anthony, and you see hold up in Anthony, and will estimate you might get out of the hold up. We know it's not perfect, but it's like, for me, it's 90% accurate or 95%. You understand? Look at the number of mobile phones generating that worldwide. And one thing, 1.2 million Android devices are activated every day. 1.2 million. Remember a time we had no mobile phones. Now 1.2 million every day. Android, not iPhone, Android.